Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. Hola, muy buenos. Alabaré, 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 mi Señor. Hola, hallelujah. We're going to talk about San Jose again today. Yes, indeed. Hi there. It's Day to Day with St. Joseph on Wednesday, and you know it's Cinco de Mayo. You might have thought I was going to put a sombrero on my head, huh? On my head. No, I'm kind of Irish American, so I'm not even quite sure I've ever been to a Cinco de Mayo party. And in the pandemic, I'm not sure how many of those are going to go on. But on this Wednesday, we continue talking about St. Joseph and try to do an earthy, down to earth way. Okay, the human side of Joseph. Okay, so, I was again just thinking of Joseph, and if I was a younger man like Jesus, see him as a man of faith, see him as a hard worker, see him as a man's man. I'd see him as rather quiet, being surprised how quiet he is or reserved. If I was growing up under him, if I was his friend, maybe some of the same things, right? It's like you kind of wait for Joseph's response. You have to be patient and wait for him to say something. He might be a very deliberate kind of person. The earthy side of Joseph, I see Joseph as a really loyal person. So if you were a friend to him or a co-worker, I think you would really have a loyal friend once he saw that you were solid, I can see him being a real patriot Jew, but not necessarily interested in politics or getting involved in revolutionary stuff, like the Zealot Party was doing. Okay. So I've watched a few films on Joseph, and one of them shows him being a mentor figure of some other young men. And Joseph is single, but he's looking after other young men. But some of the young men are looking like they're going to get involved in this zealot work and uprising against the Romans and attacking them. And Joseph is like, not a good idea. We're in occupation here. The Romans have the power. So I've enjoyed these different depictions of Joseph. I watched the Jesus of Nazareth film, and for about an hour of that film, the Zeffirelli one, he's depicted in down to earth. And the film, I believe it's on our website in our formed Catholic library. I think that's the Joseph film that I watched, and it's got a Joseph that's sort of he's like a Liam Neeson kind of a character. The guy that's in all the films where someone goes missing or he has to find someone that's been taken or something. Well, tough character. But Joseph would have had a gentle side as well as this really rugged side. This is the kind of earthy picture I have of Joseph. So when I woke up this morning, though, I was thinking, what is a female's picture of Joseph? What's a female's picture of Jesus? So those of you that are women out there, I don't have these immediate views because I'm not one of you. I'm the other side of the human race, a male. I think I see Joseph differently, maybe, than some females would. Oh, a little interruption here. See, there's the film I'm talking about. Joseph close to Jesus. You see, rugged kind of character he is, and yet, smiling character, which is nice. And these are the characters that want to become zealots. And he's trying to steer these young men right. But he isn't yet a father. He isn't yet taking care of Mary. But eventually, They do, and I like the depiction of them. They really look Jewish to me, and I think the issues they face are more realistic in the film instead of just pious. Joseph close to Jesus. And there's also a Mary film that we have on our web uh, site, Resurrection Burtonsville, Resurrection Burt. And Mary film is also available for you. Just open up our Catholic Library under Formed, and you can watch the film there or this one. All right, back to the female side of looking at Joseph. Now, I'm just getting a general idea, wondering, what females think of Joseph that would be different than me, because my first impression is man to man, right? Yours would be woman to man, since he's a man. And I would think too that Jesus also would be somewhat of a different approach for women. And I'm talking, basic. I'm not talking anything real specific. If you could, all you women could say, "Hey, Father, yeah, I don't think you know or understand women." Well, I'm just trying to be in the ballpark, and tell me what man has ever understood a woman anyway. Maybe only Joseph ever understood women, since he was so just and so such a servant to Mary. I think in some ways he was the second Adam, even though Jesus is called the new Adam. I think Mary is definitely the new Eve. Okay, and I think Joseph knows that he has to live a certain way uh, to kind of live up to what men are supposed to be. But I think women looking at Joseph then would say, okay, so here's a just man. Here's a man that cares about the woman. Here's a man that's a very faithful spouse. Here's a man that's a very good father. Here's a man before he was a good father, is probably a great mentor, a great role model figure for other young men to look up to, like maybe a coach would be today. I'm just wondering, how women relate to him. I know women sometimes with Jesus, they have this bridal image, especially singles, and religious women. They have that kind of a model to him. I think women that want to really entrust their feelings, their thoughts, their intimate, heart renderings to a man, and Jesus becomes really kind of that figure for them. And as men relating that way to God and to Jesus, sometimes not quite the same. Okay, it can be somewhat the same, but really, I think women might relate differently to Joseph and to Jesus. And that's where I was just starting to explore on the earthy side of things. Just today, I was starting to look up what women think of Joseph. I was Googling it, so I found some interesting things. I'm going to share some later this week with you. I was looking at organizations been around for 100 years. I think they're called the Junior League of St. Joseph. I think they might have changed their name along the way, but the Society for St. Joseph. Women that want to foster volunteerism and service and a life for others. This is who these people are. And I see that this society is in the middle America and the upper Northwest, Midwest, and out to the West Coast. Not so many of those groups here on the East Coast. But I was like, interesting, a really interesting group. And just one example of women and how they look at Joseph. And so a role model for women that want to get involved and do something together. The Junior League of St. Joseph, they have the thing that used to call the little black dress thing, and it's a fundraiser, but it's actually a fundraiser to alleviate poverty. And they have another fundraiser, the Cinderella Project, to be able to give women who are going to proms and things a free dress or free rental dress. And they have some other runs for other women and children's ministry. So there's something about women And women that want to live a life like Joseph, and answering my question that I woke up with this morning: what do women think of Joseph? And it'll probably extend right to what do women think of Jesus on this May 5th. Well, I bid you adieu for today. We'll be back tomorrow talking more about women and their view of St. Joseph. And I've researched a number of things that women have to say about Joseph and their perspective of Joseph and serving Jesus. So expect that in the next two programs. So it's Wednesday, so it's a Joseph Day. I want you to think of a way that you can live the Joseph example out there in some work of love, of mercy, of justice, of faith. Just be like Joseph today. Be like Joe.